Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo IdeaPad S340-5APITouch. Kind of an interesting, very long model number, but there you go. Alright, we're going to be removing all the screws from the bottom using a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be just different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them on my desk flat side down like that in the pattern I remove them. So there's 3 here, 3 here, and then there's 4 down here. So let's go ahead and remove all those screws. If this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then comment and like them as well. Or like and comment on them, whatever you want to say. And yeah, because that's what the algorithm likes to see, and hopefully that will allow my videos to help more people going forward. Alright, so let's get all these screws out. We're almost there, and then we're gonna have to pop the bottom cover off. This model seems to be very similar to all the other S340 models. There's a lot of S340 models, and I don't know, this model I feel has been known for like bad hinge design. This specific one, the customer didn't say anything about their hinge going bad. Oh, this screw for some reason doesn't want to come out, so we're gonna go down here, and yeah, I don't know if something is broken there, but it seems like it. All right, next thing we gotta do, we're gonna open this up. And I'm going to get my fingernails in this gap here, and I'm going to push with my thumb on the palm rest. You don't want to push on the touchpad, just the palm rest area. And you can see now we have a gap here. Once you get that gap, you can close up the laptop. I'm going to pull on this, push down with my thumb here, and sometimes it helps to kind of slide my fingernail along the edge there. But there you go, it kind of just popped up just pulling on it. You can see this one's already all popped up. And then we got to get the back out. The back can be a little tricky. Usually what I do is I pull up on here and I kind of just wiggle this a little. If it doesn't come out, then we might have to work on like sliding a pry tool further in the back here. I did cut my thumbnail here a little short, so it's not really working too well. But let's see. Sometimes you can kind of just wiggle this up and down and it might pop out. But I don't know. In this case, see, this fingernail works better because it's longer. So of course you can use plastic pry tools, but I don't know, I find fingernails work really well. And there we go, we have this open. So for some reason this customer's screen isn't coming up, like I don't know why, just the LCD isn't coming up, but it does work perfectly fine on an external monitor. What we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the battery here. Let's actually get a thumbnail here. So I got this. There's the battery model number here. If you want to see, L18M3PF7, right? L18M3PF7. We're going to disconnect the battery, and we're going to hold the power button to drain any residual power. The way I get the battery out is I grab close to the connector as close as I can, and I just wiggle this sideways, or I guess in this case, this way, up and down. All right. But not up and down like this way, up and down as in like vertical and back down this way. I don't know. All right, anyways, we disconnected the battery. We're going to carefully open up the laptop, and we're going to press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds, right? This is very important, especially if we're going to mess with the LCD LVDS connector. And in this case, that's exactly what we're doing, because we do need to check if for some reason that cable came loose, and maybe that's why the screen's not coming up. All right, so that's been 15 seconds. We're going to carefully close this. All right, and the way I close it is I help push the hinges down as well. Anyways, we have this connector. We're going to remove it. Sorry, let's zoom back in. And you pull on this tab, and I found it helps if I get a fingernail underneath the edge here and then pull that up, kind of pry it up. Oh, if that doesn't work, let's go from this side. And nope, it doesn't want to come out. So let's pull and pry, and this cable's stuck in there pretty strong, so I doubt the LCD LVDS connector is loose, but I don't know, why is it stuck in there so strong? Jeez, like I'm pulling on it pretty hard. Let's try from this side. Yeah, I don't know, this cable doesn't want to pop off. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we got the LCD LVDS connector out. I'm gonna just brush it a little bit. But honestly, I don't see anything wrong here that would cause it not to work. So I'm probably going to have to end up pulling the screen out of the thing to check the cable in the back. There's a 2.5-inch, oops, let's zoom out, 2.5-inch SATA hard drive slot here. There's no hard drive actually in it. So if you want, you can add one. It looks like they put a bracket because there's 4 screws in here holding whatever's in there in place. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bracket in there, and you can swap that out, metal bracket out, for a SATA hard drive. I would put a 2.5-inch SATA SSD. They're using a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here. I would use a full-sized one. You can actually remove this metal triangle thing, and you can put a full-sized M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. There's a removable wireless card here if you want to see how to remove that. I have videos on a lot of other laptops. You also have the DC jack or charge port connector here. It is underneath the hinge, so you have to undo these screws and lift this thing up. The way I take that out is I open the screen slightly, undo the screws, so when I close it down it has a gap and I can pull it up. And then you can then pull the DC jack or charge port out. Alright, here's the speaker connector here. I grab these and then I kind of just wiggle to pull it out, but there's wire going to that speaker and then another wire going along to the speaker over here. Then you got this big cable that connects this board with the 2 USB ports and the SD card slot, as well as this 1 key recovery button and the power indicator light. This has little flip latches that you can flip and then you can pull the connector out. There's also the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery here, and it connects over to here underneath this tape. I'm not going to peel that up. Then you got the fan. There's 2 screws there, and the connector here that you would grab and wiggle to pull it out. All right, CPU soldered to the motherboard here under here. You have 1 slot for RAM, it looks like. You gotta get this board out. I just get my fingernail in there and then I pull this cover up. So let's go ahead and actually push this LCD LVDS connector back down and pop this off. And here's the stick of RAM. This is a 8 gig PC4-2666V. All right, depending on yours, if it has more than 8 gigs, there's probably more RAM that's soldered directly to the motherboard and not removable. Anyways, we're gonna put this piece back on. This metal plate technically isn't necessary. If you left this off, it would still work perfectly fine, but I like to keep it how the factory set it up. All right, and then we also got, this is most likely the touchpad trackpad connector with a flip latch, keyboard connector here with the flip latch on this side, and then the keyboard backlight connection here with the flip latch there. Battery just has 2 screws here, it looks like. So once you remove those 2 screws, you can lift this. Oh, actually, there's 1 more screw down here, and then you can take the battery out. There are these speaker cables that you need to unroute from here so the battery doesn't pull up on them. But other than that, that's pretty much it for that. Let's go ahead and get the battery connector back in. Just line it back up. Also, if you're replacing the battery, make sure you don't plug it in upside down where you can see the metal pins here. Okay, you want to make sure it's the completely flat side. On the original battery, they mark it with a dot so you know which side's up. All right, so we'll get that in and then we'll push that. It helps to kind of like pinch the whole thing together. And let's see if there's any change now. I'm actually going to push the 1 key recovery button so it doesn't go into the Windows, but there's a little hole here. I use a SIM card eject tool to push that to turn on the computer, and the screen is staying black, so very likely it's either the screen is broken or the screen cable connection is broken. So let me go let the customer know, and then we'll probably proceed with taking the whole screen out. All right, I'm going to turn off the computer by pushing the power button. It turned off, and yeah, all right, I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. Let's actually zoom in a little bit here. So since we are pulling the screen out, we are going to have to undo the wireless antennas as well as the LCD cable. So kind of already saw me pull this out. It's kind of a pain. I don't know why it's so difficult to get out, but there we go. All right, we're gonna get this cable routed out and around from the battery. It looks like they use some tape. You want to be careful because this part, oops, let's zoom in. All right, this part is kind of holding on tight to the cable, but you don't want to damage this by just yanking it straight up. So I'm going to use this little SIM card eject tool and just nudge it to squeeze it to go past this plastic piece. All right, you can use any tool to do that, like a plastic, or I don't know, pry tool or a toothpick or whatever works for you. All right, I'm gonna be careful with this. I'm holding this part down while I peel this stuff up. All right, and I don't know why they taped this down, but there we go. We're gonna get this out as well. Oh, one other thing I forgot. We're gonna also pull this again. So hopefully nothing happened with the screen, but we do need to disconnect the battery cable and then press and hold the power button again. With this design, because it's like a press down connector, the chance of actually shorting anything is a lot lower unless you like touch this on something metal inside. But it's still always a good idea to press and hold the power button. All right. The kinds where it has the flip latch, a lot of the screens have a flip latch connection. Those, if you don't pull it out straight and you go like at a weird twisting angle motion, then there's a good chance like pins can cross each other and short. So that's why I always recommend that pressing and holding the power button. All right, anyways, we're gonna pull this part of the cable up as well. You can see it's going out into the hinges. We're just gonna unroute that. All right, let's go ahead and remove the wireless antennas. So the wireless antennas, they have this adhesive foam on top. You wanna carefully peel that away. And then we're gonna go ahead, oh, this adhesive sucks. It's like not coming off cleanly at all. They designed this to not come out. I guess one thing you can do is instead of removing the antennas, you can actually remove the whole wireless card, which actually I'll do that instead. Oops, make sure you use the right screwdriver. This is using a JIS1 or J1 screwdriver. Undo that screw. Okay. And then we're gonna actually lift the the wireless card up slightly and pull this back. All right, so there we go. We're gonna actually take the whole wireless card with it because sometimes the soldering for the wireless antennas is bad and then it can break. All right, next thing we gotta do is remove the screen assembly. So the way I do that is I carefully open the laptop all the way, all right, slowly, or not, you don't have to open it all the way, but about 90 degrees. Then we're gonna lay it flat side down like that over the edge of your desk or table or whatever you're working on. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Come on, a little more. There you go. And now we have access to these screws. We're gonna remove these two screws, again, using the JIS1 screwdriver. So we're gonna remove the two screws from the hinge on there and the two screws from the hinge over here, all right? Again, make sure to keep all the screws in order. Excuse me, because they are different size, shape, and lengths, all right? And we got these two screws we're gonna remove. And now the screen is just flopping down. We're gonna carefully lift the whole screen assembly up and out. Sorry, I know I didn't get a good view. Oh man. But there we go. And we'll set the rest of the laptop aside. All right, next thing we gotta do, we gotta pop this whole thing off here. I don't know if they changed the design from before, but we'll find out. All right, so we're gonna start, usually on these it's easier to start on the side, and the reason for that is there's less adhesive there. So we're gonna start over here. Oops, let's get this out of the way. Okay, and I'll just pull up. Basically I'm pulling and pushing in, rotating it with my thumb that way, and let's see if we can pop the clips. And right now it seems these are super strong. Interesting. I don't know. I hope, okay. The adhesive is kind of separating now and it's slowly kind of lifting. Okay, and we're gonna continue pulling here. All right, and let's see. So I don't know, it's lifting a little bit here, but not quite. So this is kind of an annoying design. Okay, we're just gonna have to keep slowly, carefully pulling on this. And you want to go slow because you don't want to put too much pressure on the screen. All right, the adhesive should slowly eventually peel up, just like this. You can see we're getting that out. All right, and just like that, slowly peeling, just like this. All right, we're gonna rotate it this way. Now we got all of that. Let's go ahead and go across the top. And you want to be careful that you're not peeling up too much of the stuff from the screen. It's gonna kind of happen anyways, but just go slow. Okay. All right. And you want to try, and if it's peeling away too much, you can actually get in from the inside and like push the adhesive. You can see that black frame, the tape there. You don't want to rip that all away from the screen, okay? All right, so we're going to continue peeling this. And just keep going, keep going. All right. And, oh man, this thing is tough. What is, oh, the adhesive strip is kind of peeling up with it, but not completely. All right, we're just going to keep going. Continue pulling and peeling, okay? And again, I'm kind of rotating it this way to push the clips in. Sometimes you can actually hear the clips like clicking. All right. All right, so here you can see the adhesive strip in the middle kind of separating. And it's up to you if you want to kind of separate it down to the screen or pull it up into keep it on the bezel. But usually it's easiest to kind of keep it up attached to the bezel, but I don't know why it's wanting to stick to the screen so much. There we go. All right, now that we got the one side and that top, we'll go down this side. Again, slowly peeling as we go. And now the adhesive is coming out more, so I can actually, I guess, keep that attached. You can see the adhesive here is separating. Okay, and we're going to slowly continue peeling this up, working our way to the bottom. Alright, and there we go. This side is popping up as well. And I'm not too sure even why they have all this adhesive here. The clips themselves are already strong enough. But if you want to keep the adhesive there, you can. Alright, you can see how it's separating the layers of the screen plastic wrapped around. That's kind of why I don't really like the adhesives they like to use. But here's the adhesive strip. We can actually set that aside and probably even get rid of it. Like if I were to just stick this back down, it holds itself already in place. So yeah, I guess there's also leftover adhesive residue there. Okay, so pull that up. Now we're gonna have to go to the front here and slowly pull this up. And this is also going to be a pain. Usually I have to use a tool to separate. Let's see, does this come off separately on this model? Maybe, maybe not. It looks like it's going underneath that this plastic, the frame is going underneath it. So let's see, we're gonna slowly peel this up. This model does seem to be built differently. On the other models, this little plastic piece comes out separately from the rest of the bezel. But in this case, it looks like it's all coming up as one piece. And it might actually be sliding. Okay, see, we don't want to separate this whole plastic thing. So what I'm going to do, I use this thin metal tool. And you can use whatever works for you. But I get in here and then I use this to help push the plastic layer back down. All right, so just like this, try and keep it separated. But sometimes it, you can see. All right, so anyways, that's at a weird angle, so I'm gonna work on it like this, and hopefully after showing it to you guys, you kind of understand what's going on. But basically I'm separating the adhesive from that layer. I'm pushing it down, working my way further over. Okay, just keep going, just like this. And eventually we'll have the entire piece. Okay, just like this. Keep working your way down. Oh, it looks like it peeled something up. But let's continue working our way down. Man, it's leaving so much sticky residue. It's like my tool is sticking to everything. Okay, just keep going. This. All right, and there we go. And now we got this piece out. Oh, it has this foil they put here. I don't know why they put this foil here. I honestly don't feel it's necessary. So if for some reason you lose that foil or it gets ripped out, don't worry about it. Not really gonna do anything. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna dust this cover off and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back, and I forgot to mention that one screw that wasn't coming out, they actually have a washer here that helps hold it in, and that's to make it easier to actually remove the cover. It pushes the cover up and out. All right, anyways, we have this, and it's interesting. This is a new design. They have this blue thing that's looks like it's, is it just how do I remove this? This blue hinge cover's like stuck here. Usually these, like, you can kind of slide it or something. I don't know, it doesn't want to move at all, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. All right, it looks like we have these adhesive strips we need to remove. So they have stretch release adhesive up here. So we're gonna remove those, and then we should be able to lift the screen out and check the cable. So this is the stuff that I was saying. It peels away with the bezel, but you don't wanna peel this because it's dangerous to touch the stuff under here. So you wanna be careful and leave this kind of covered here if you can. So you can kind of pull it up and try and keep it there. All right. It's a little risky touching the components underneath that plastic, so I want to be careful because those components are very fragile. All right, so I don't see how you remove this blue piece. It's like glued on there. And I don't get it because it's only on this side, like up here. It doesn't have a thing that holds it. So I'm assuming it's the sliding mechanism because it is wiggling a little bit side to side, but very difficult. So maybe I have to like put it this way and then grab the whole thing. And oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so it slides over towards the LCD LVDS connector, not the wireless antennas, and there we go. Now we can get this piece off. I think, yep, there we go. And here you can see what the sliding mechanism kind of looks like. All right, so this has, there's little, oops, come on, focus. It has like these little hooks here, and those are what kind of hook in and slide, right? I think, yeah. Anyways, we'll set that aside, and then we have the two stretch release adhesive, but I'm getting messages, so let me check that and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and get this screen out. So again, there are two little pull release tabs that we need to stretch. Let's get this out of view. All right, so what happened to my little tweezers? I got so much stuff going on here. All right, so we're gonna use some tweezers here to get the stretch release adhesive tab up. All right, and basically you want to slowly, carefully just pull this straight back. If you can, you would go underneath the hinge here and just continue pulling this straight. All right, you don't want to pull it up or at an angle. You want to try and keep it flat, and if you can grab over here. Once you stretch it, you can see it stretches back, and we're gonna just continue pulling this. I'm gonna keep my hand over here so I can grab this in case it flies out. Then we're gonna grab that and let it go, and then continue. And we're just gonna keep doing that until we get this whole adhesive strip out. Okay, like that. Try and keep it from folding over on itself, so that way you can reuse it. All right, and there we go. It's about coming out. There we go. All right, so there is the stretch release adhesive. Okay, and it does have like a little angle plastic thing to it to kind of keep it there. You can do the same thing with the other side. Okay, there's a little stretch release adhesive tab here. Get under there, grab that, and same thing, we'll pull this straight back. Okay, This one, the plastic thing kind of separated a little from it, so be careful. But we're just going to keep pulling this. Okay, grab there and continue. All right, there we go. Oh, it's sticking to itself. And be careful with that because you don't want it to get all stuck to itself and then you won't be able to get it out. So since this kind of came out a little, let's see if, I don't know if we'll be able to get it back in there, but I can try. This part separates from here and here. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to get it back. There we go. That stretch released. And what about this side? Come on, let go. Okay, so there we go. Got it to release from both sides of the plastic, and then now we can kind of stick it back down. Okay, there we go. And we're going to set this stretch release adhesive tab aside as well. There's no specific, sorry. You don't have to use that exact tape. You can actually use any double-sided tape, and then you can just put a little bit in the corners, and usually you should be okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and see about pulling the screen up. So you can see we can lift this up and out now, right? Oops, I gotta be careful because we got, excuse me, the screws over here. All right. So anyways, we got this. You can see it can come out. There's all this cabling here. Make sure if you remove this to put it back in there to guide the wiring properly. We're just gonna check if this connection is okay. It looks okay, but I don't know. We'll see because it's not working. So we're gonna use this plastic razor blade. Oops, sorry, I forgot to mute my phone. All right, and then we're gonna peel this up. All right, so let's go ahead and peel that up. Oh, I gotta be careful because this cable's here. Okay, so let's peel this adhesive up. Okay. And we're gonna peel this slowly, carefully. All right. Starting to think the screen is just dead, but let's go ahead and peel this because the cable, the connection itself didn't look loose. Anyways, we're gonna carefully continue walking this adhesive off. All right, like that. Peel that. There we go. And yeah, I don't think this is loose at all. Let's go ahead and pull it and reseat it. Okay, and then we'll get that in, pull that in to make sure it's completely tight, and then we'll put this adhesive back down. If you're wondering and you need to replace your screen, there is a screen model number here. Oh man, the adhesive is sticking to everything. Okay, let me see if I can show this. So model number is really tiny. It's B156HAK02.0. Let me actually see if I can point it out. So model number is right here. It's right there in that tiny print. I don't know if that will show up. B156HAK02.2. Right? And then they have a hardware 6A and firmware 1. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and reassemble this thing now. Whoop, you don't need to see all the junk all over my desk. All right, we'll get that aside. I'm gonna rotate this back over here. Okay, and let's see how we're gonna get this thing back into place. So we got all of this, and this was kind of just, oh, this is not supposed to stick to that. All right, so we got to get this all routed back over here. Okay, route it back down there and route it in there, and then this would sit back in there. Okay, hopefully I'm putting everything back the way it was. I believe this was like that, and then like this, and like that, right? Yeah, I don't think this really had a specific place, but there we go. We got the wire all routed back in. Let's get this blue piece back in. If you're wondering which side is up and down, you can see one side is longer here. Okay, so the back, this is longer, and that's, if I remember correctly, what goes there. We're gonna start it over slightly to the right. Okay, because this cable's over here. So I'm gonna get this in here. Come on. All right, so we start it. Yeah, come on, this is tough. Get that back on there. Am I doing it backwards? I'm pretty sure it was the longer side was to the back. All right, I don't think if I flip it this way, is it gonna go? I don't think so. All right, so let's get this back in, hopefully. Wiggle that, get that back down. Make sure you don't smash the cabling here. So we do have this wire, and it does need to kind of tuck into there so you don't smash it with the hinge cover. Okay, I guess same thing with the wireless antennas. Go over there. And am I doing something wrong here? This thing doesn't want to go back down. Come on. I don't know why this hinge cover is so difficult, but it is. All right, and I might actually be putting it upside down, so let's see. Okay, so maybe the longer side goes up towards the screen. I think that's what I was doing wrong. That's why it wasn't sitting completely, I hope. Okay, so there we go. Yep, that was right. The shorter side is actually down here. All right, so now we got that all lined up. You're gonna hold it onto this, and we're gonna slide that over, and it kind of clicked. Interesting. I wasn't expecting a click, but it clicked into place, and now this doesn't move. The customer said that their webcam was also sometimes going on and off, so maybe what it is the LCD, the LVDS cable, and maybe their screen is okay, because the cable connection here for the webcam looks okay. All right. Anyways, we do want to put the adhesive strips back. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but let's see. All right, so what we're going to have to do, we got to hold the screen up and out of the way, or fold that, let that roll over this way. Okay. So now we got this. I need something. It would help if I had someone else to help hold it, but I don't. So we're going to try and do this. All right. So let's get the adhesive strip. And you're basically going to get this black portion back down at the edge where the hinge is. Okay. And then if I had someone to help hold this, okay, there we go. So we'll hold that there, and then we'll just line this down, let this lay down here. And since this is already used, it's going to be stretched and probably be longer, but it actually fit nicely. Okay, so we got that to fit there. We're going to now rotate the screen and put the other side. Okay, look at that. And let's get this one in as well. So we'll get this plastic tab over there, hold that down into place, and let this drop in, and hopefully it won't be too long. Oh, see, this one's a little bit longer, but I think we should be okay. Looks like it fit, right? Make sure it's flat, there's no big bubbles, and there we go. So now what we do, we're gonna lay this down. I'm actually gonna rotate it this way so I can focus on the top edge here. I'm actually holding the back up so it doesn't stick down, and we're gonna try and drop the corner in here. Uh-oh, this is tough. All right, drop that corner in. Make sure I'm pulling it up so that the edge here is at as high as it goes, and then we'll drop that down. Okay, and there we go. I'm gonna make sure to roll this adhesive back towards the center and the bottoms. Okay, and there is the thing. Then we do have, let's see, let's put this adhesive strip back on there. Okay, so we're gonna stick this back down there. There we go. Now we just gotta put the bezel back on. So the bezel, obviously, we just grab this and line everything up. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna get the bottom part in first. So line up those little pieces towards the outer edges and then push that down. All right, then now that we got that clicked in, I'm gonna work my way up the side edges, just basically rolling my finger around the, or sliding my finger around the outside perimeter. And you can see it kind of snaps itself into place. Okay, and just keep going around the perimeter, and there we go. Then we can go ahead and clip all this in, just running my finger or thumb along the top. All right, and it looks like, I don't know if that's the design because it doesn't really move lower. I think that might be the design. There's like two little holes down here, and I believe those are the microphones, because I don't see any holes for microphones anywhere else. All right, let's go ahead and put the rest of it back together, though I'm pretty sure the screen or the cable is dead. So here's the laptop. Let's zoom out more. And we're basically going to, let's get this junk out of the way. I can't, I have too much stuff here. All right, so next thing we'll do, we'll drop this back down into place. Okay, make sure the cables aren't getting damaged by anything, and line everything up. All right, now that we got that, we just got to get the two screws back in. On this side, we have this screw. All right, and we have another screw down here. Okay, make sure it's nice and tight, but don't like use too much force because you don't want to overdo it and break the screw mounts. That screw in as well, and the last hinge screw in. There we go. Let's go ahead now and close up the screen. So I'll put it with the screen on the back like this. Oops. And then I'm gonna basically push on the hinges here with my thumb and rotate it. And there we go. So we got this closed up. Go ahead and make sure it's all nice and tight. Good. We're gonna rotate this back over. We need to get the LCD LVDS connector back in. I mean, you saw how that worked last time. You just gonna thread this all back over here. Oh, we have this adhesive that we need to stick back down. Technically this adhesive isn't needed, so if you want, you can even just cut it off. But I try and keep it as factory original as possible if I can. Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna just route this cabling all around here. And we have that. Let's go ahead and plug this guy in. So just line it up. Click it down. Route that over here. Route this over here. All right. Push that back down. Hide that cabling back under there. Got this. You can push the adhesive back under. Part of it was under the CMOS battery earlier, so we'll just tuck that back there. Sorry if it zoomed out too far. All right, we're gonna get the wireless card back in. Make sure the antennas follow the old path here, behind the hinge. Is it gonna go under there? Or was it just on top? I don't even remember. I mean, it looks like it can fit behind the hinge. So let's see. Yep, okay. There we go. And then we'll get the wireless card back in. It goes in at an angle. Pinch the two together, just like that. All right, we'll get that screw. And we'll tighten that back down. And then we can put the foam on top again. All right, last part, reconnect the battery. Okay, get that in place. All right, let me push the one key recovery button again and see if we have any changes. All right, using a little needle pin. I see the keyboard's lit up and I don't see anything on the screen. So very likely either the screen is bad or the cable is bad. And I have a feeling it might be the cable because the customer did tell me that the webcam was actually also going on and off, like losing connection. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and put the bottom cover back on. I don't know if the customer is going to want to have the screen replaced, but I'll let them know what the price is and then we'll go from there. Anyways, to get the bottom cover on, just line everything up, push down all around the outer edges, okay, just like that. At the same time, I'm actually pushing it in towards the center so that the clips don't take too much force. And then we just got to get the last few screws in, the T5 or Torx 5 screws. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So they have this one screw that stays in there. Make sure to get that back in. All right, and then, oops, sorry if you couldn't see. And then we'll just get the rest of the screws, and that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, you can help. It would help a lot if you watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on them, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. All right, but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get the last few screws in, and then the customer will have to decide whether they want to use it on an external monitor until they get a new computer, or if they want to try replacing the components. Again, I don't think it's the screen itself. I have a feeling that it is actually caused by the cable, especially since they were saying that it was going on and off. But sometimes if it's having that issue, then that means the cable is kind of not connecting properly, and then you could end up with like a short or kind of like arcing voltage spike across the broken gap, and that would fry the backlight circuit and screen and stuff. So I'm not 100% sure, wouldn't know unless I tried replacing the screen, but as of now I feel like it might not be the screen in this case. Alright, unless they dropped it or something hit it and damaged the whole backlight circuit and everything. Alright, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.